Hello, it's me, John Woodson, up close and personal. Today we're going to talk about Chapter 1, and I'm going to do this old school. I'm going to use this camera and point it at my screen. And hopefully, I've ordered a piece of equipment, so hopefully I can do this in a more modern way soon. But I don't like the Loom platform that much, so I'm doing it this way. And let's talk about Chapter 1. Now, the first thing I want you to do, if you haven't already done it, is to take the quiz. I read Chapter 1 quiz. I want you to read Chapter 1 and take this quiz. If you've not read Chapter 1 yet, pause this, read it, and then come back to it. Then go through the lecture. Our objectives. Now, I'm not going to read every one of these to you, just like in class, I don't read them all to you. Know the different aspects that marketing encompasses. Understand the marketing concept and how it relates to the marketing management process. And learn the elements of the marketing mix. So what it is, this marketing stuff we're talking about. It can be defined as being a specialized type of communication between a business and its customers. Now, you're sitting there going, I'm wanting to freelance, or I'm wanting to do this or that or the other thing. I don't want to be a marketer. Well, no matter what you do, you're going to be marketing it. If you're going to be a freelance graphic designer, you've got to convince people that you've got their solutions, that you've got things they need. And that's part of marketing. Where do you place it? How do you contact people? All of that. So if you're going to be a freelance photographer, if you're going to go work for anybody with the message, you've got to get the message out. You've got to contact and connect with the audience somehow. And that's what marketing is all about. And I'm not going to read all these to you. This is the American Marketing Association's definition. And you can go back and read it. This Regis McKenna says marketing is everything. Read a little more in the book about that. Paul Drucker, renowned consultant, has this to say about it. Again, you can go back and read this. I'm not going to read all of these to you. And Dr. Philip Kotler has said this about marketing: the social process by which individuals and groups obtain what they need and want through creating and engaging products and value with each other, with others. Now, that can be, a couple of cavemen thousands of years ago. One of them killed a mammoth, the other one needs the meat. Communications, marketing his product. I mean, it's how we communicate. Let you read that one on your own too. Now, after you read all of this, and the whole reason to do that first discussion was the first discussion assignment you should have already done was, I wanted to know what you think of marketing before you've read all of this. But now that you've read all of this, how would you define marketing? What would be your answer now as opposed to what you said in the discussion? And I'm not going to make you do that as an assignment, but think about what you've already learned. Here's the definition that the book uses, and I'm going to use the American Marketing Association's definition: the activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. This is marketing at its core. That's a very important statement. Isn't this really how we conduct society? How we conduct interpersonal relationships? Trying to find value for those that we exchange ideas and offerings with? How we deliver things? Whether it's friendship or a car. These are all things, this is human interaction. So marketing is a process. It's an exchange, and it's relationships. You know, they say it's not what you know, but who you know. It's both. You need to be an expert in your field. But just today, I have a situation going on, and I forgot that I had somebody in a position that could help me. And a friend of mine reminded me. And so I took advantage of that. It wasn't monetary, it was a personal favor, but still it was who I knew. So I'm pretty sure that I'll get this situation handled because he's a friend of mine. So building relationships is important. Making connections is important. Being nice to the other people in class is important. You never know who's going to end up being going to be working somewhere else and might hire you. So marketing is all of these things: a process, an exchange, and relationships. So let's talk about careers in marketing very quickly. Start at the top. The Chief Marketing Officer is the person in charge. I'll let you read that because most of you will not leave this class and go straight into the position of Chief Marketing Officer. A couple in here that you might be able to get to. Marketing management. This person or persons in this role implements the marketing strategy defined by the CMO, the company, and the day-to-day activities. Small companies, I'll say this later too. In small companies, people do more than one of these jobs. Demand generation. Now, some people call this a sales assistant. Matter of fact, that's a job you could get right now, as soon as you graduate. The person in the role has responsibility for generating new business prospects, usually called leads in marketing parlance, marketing verbiage. A variety of marketing approaches such as events, pay-per-click, advertising, use of generated are used to generate and capture contact information for new leads. Clickbait, that's used for new leads. Think about the clickbait you looked at and then the ads that you started getting that were actually kind of interesting to you. Locally, a sales assistant, like at a radio TV station, will use analytics, will use software to determine where the customers are, what the customer needs, and generate leads that way. And it can be as simple as picking up the phone and calling people. Content marketing. This person or persons is responsible for creating and publishing a steady stream of new and compelling content. This is something that you can do with the skills that you have learned from this program. As a matter of fact, students have gone on to do this. Whatever content the organization needs or the individual needs, you create it. Somebody sent me an email yesterday wanting to know about if I knew anybody that could help them with a podcast. And then I asked them what their budget was and asked them, did they have equipment and all this stuff. I haven't heard back from them yet. But if you go look for jobs right now, the skills you've learned in audio, video, graphics, and web design make you qualified to do this job. Digital marketing, responsible for online marketing efforts for the team. Some of the same things as the last position. Matter of fact, I've seen these kind of combined in ads. Then marketing operations, the person in charge of the technology. And marketing research. Now, this is also something done by the whole team and sales assistants and marketing assistants. They do use software. They try to figure out where the customers are, what the customers need, what the clients need, what is there a product that is not being offered that needs to be created? Do you need to change your product a little bit to meet consumer demand and needs? Marketing analytics is a big deal today. There's all kinds of software and information out there that makes it easier to determine who, what, where, when, and why things are needed. Radio stations, TV stations, big corporations, manufacturers, Small companies. I'm going to introduce you to a company a little bit that does this for small companies. Try to figure out a marketing strategy. And they do that with data. Now, in startup companies, small companies, and if you're a freelancer, you get to wear all these hats, or a combination of them. Even in big companies, you might have somebody who does more than one job. Now, marketing is not advertising, but advertising is part of marketing. Okay? Now, even my train of thought made these two words synonymous from my background, but they're not synonymous. Advertising is one part of marketing. It might not even be used in a traditional way. You always got to get the word out, and I say that's advertising. But it may not be in a commercial format. It may be some other way. Many companies, advertising is the biggest part of the marketing budget. In fact, people think the word sales and advertising go together when they hear about marketing. They picture that car salesman. Or perhaps they think of commercials that play over and over again on television. In reality, marketing is more than that. In its truest form, it's strategic. It provides value to the customer instead of taking advantage of the consumer. So if marketing is done the right way, it helps everybody along the chain. The person with the product, the person that needs the product, and everybody else. A full definition of concept marketing: the management orientation that focuses on identifying and satisfying customer needs to ensure the organization's long-term profitability. Okay? I'll let you read those on your own as well, and it's in the book. I did want you to pay attention to this line, this phrase. The marketing concept is different from the selling concept because it places the consumer at the beginning of the process. Okay? It's not just, I got this, you need to buy it. You got more to do than that. You know, it's not like selling chewing gum. Well, even that's being marketed. You know, if you go out at the grocery store and all the stuff on the at the checkout counter is placed in a position and in a way to make it attractive to you. So there's marketing involved. Somebody designed all that. Somebody put it together. No one's asking you to buy it. There's no ads necessarily right there saying buy this gum. The package itself is kind of an advertisement. But the marketing concept tries to figure out what the customer wants and needs and how to solve that. You know, when we want gum, we don't go looking for it. It's something that we usually don't think about buying ahead of time or put it on a list, is it? Maybe for some people. It's usually something we just kind of pick up on the way out. So the marketing strategy for that is to put it somewhere where people can see it. Placement. So it's beyond just selling it. Because they put gum on the bottom shelf in the back of the store, they wouldn't get to it. So what is marketing responsible for? Ensuring that a firm understands its customers. You got to know your audience. Isn't that what I've said to you from day one? You got to know who you're talking to, who you're working with. I think about that when I create these lectures. You know, this is college. I expect you to know some things, but I also understand that most of you probably have not taken a class like this before, and that's why I'm going through these things in detail, and that's why I'm stating the obvious sometimes, because I know not you're stupid, at least not most of you, maybe one or two of you. You know who you are. Seriously, I know I need to communicate with you in a way that you can understand. So I got to know you. Finding the best way to reach customers, encouraging customers to purchase, turning customers into brand loyalists. Going back to the gum, I bet you right now when you're at the grocery store, you probably pick the same gum every time. You probably don't vary from your brand choice very much because they made you a brand loyalist. Maybe you're a rebel. You choose a different brand every time. That's fine. All right, the marketing concept, this is going more into the idea of selling something. Just, here's my product, buy it, give me money. And the marketing concept, you think about who the audience is, who the customer is, programming, messages, your freelance photography, audio, video, freelancing, graphic design, whatever you're doing, who is your customer and what do they need? If you're going to be a videographer, freelance videographer, you're going to try to figure out who needs that. Well, you could be a freelancer for a news station. You could do wedding videos. That's two different audiences. What do they need? Each one is different. And then you look at the long-term profits through customer satisfaction, because especially like wedding photography, you do that right and do that well, you'll get more customers. Okay, marketing management. That's the process of setting marketing goals and planning and execution of activities to meet these goals and measuring progress toward their achievement. You got to have a plan. And too many people in business today don't have a plan. It's one reason that a lot of businesses are going to go out of business because of the corona pandemic. They didn't plan for a long-term shutdown. In their defense, none of us planned for that. But people who were wise and thought about, hey, what if something bad happened? What if a storm came through? What if I had to be closed for several days because of illness? What if something happened where my business burned down? How would I continue to do this? We had to come up with a plan for a lot of this overnight at the college. But a marketing management plan would help people know what to do in a situation like an emergency. There's an emergency and your organization's involved in public relations. You might be doing some putting out of fires and explaining to people why you acted the way you did in selling a product. You got to think of the worst case scenario and what you would do. And there's going to be a lot of different policies and things enacted now that we've had this shutdown for so long. And if it happens again, people will be better prepared for it. That's all part of marketing management. The way that people have been marketing their products and services right now to people is part of marketing management. They're finding out that, we've got to be flexible. And how are we going to get customers to our services and our services to our customers under the circumstances? A good plan, a good overall plan helps in these situations. All right, the marketing mix, the building blocks of marketing. And we're going to start with the 4 P's of the marketing mix: product, place, price, and promotion. Product quality, packaging, other product attributes. And the product may not be a thing, maybe a message. Right now, churches have had to go online, most of them for their services. Their product is the church service. They don't describe it like that, but they have a message they want to get out. And all of this matters: how it looks, how it sounds, the place. Where are you going to take this message and deliver it and sell it? People read it. It's going to be a physical store. Is it going to be on a website? Is it a PSA for a message? The price, what does it cost? Is it something that you got to pay for? Is it an idea that's good for your health? Bundle pricing, discounts, all that. If you go into freelancing, you've got to figure out what you're worth. We're going to talk about that later in the semester. And promotion. Yes, advertising. but also public relations, sponsorships, and other things. So here, let's use Doritos as an example of the 3 Ps, 4 Ps. Here's your product: a good service or idea to satisfy customer needs. I want a snack, I'm a little hungry, get me some Doritos. And then the price, well, it depends on how much you buy. You buy one little bag of Doritos, you know what, $1.50, $2, something like that. I don't know what it costs, $1.40. You know, but if you bought 20 packages at that price, it would cost you $20, wouldn't it? So you figure out packaging, $20 or more. So packaging gives you a significant discount. So you buy these Doritos out of the vending machine one at a time, 20 is going to cost you $25 or something like that. Whereas if you buy a big bag, here, this price is $6.17. You buy 2, it's cheaper, and so on. Yes, the camera moved. I got up to go do something, and the camera moved. It's called a jump shot. All right, place. Another P. So we have product, price, place, and where are you going to deliver it? Where are Doritos delivered? You know, grocery stores, usually bigger bags, but the little bags, where do you tend to get those? You know, at small stores, convenience stores. You can look it up. And promotion, the means of communicating with customers. So when do you eat snacks? Well, during the Corona crisis, every minute of the day. We don't need this. But otherwise, you know, we tend to eat them, you know, in the evenings, special occasions, while we're watching football. So we got the NFL here. And, of course, once marijuana is legal, don't think Doritos is not going to advertise to those folks. But wait, there's more. Let's add 3 more Ps. All right. Why 3 more? Well, the marketing mix was lacking some of its ingredients. It needed best to manage the marketing of some products and services. So yeah, it's great to have the 3 P or 4 Ps. You got to have a product, promotion, place, price, but you need people to do it. And the book calls them the human actors who provide good services and ideas to the customers. And I thought the word actor might throw some people off. So what I'm saying is, and what they're saying, these are the folks that carry out the mission, not the actors in the commercials necessarily. Although they're part of the marketing mix. Making commercial with actors, they are part of the marketing. Physical evidence. This is a tangible element in the place that the good or service is sold. So when you see a room like this, by looking at the colors and how the seating's arranged, what do you think of? It's some kind of meeting room. That's the physical evidence that I'm looking at. When I look at the stores that sell Doritos, you know, I can find the Doritos, there's signs usually, but we can usually find where they are, whatever store we go into, because of placement. Product placement's a big deal. So everything, even the area. So you're delivering a service, and you want people to come meet you. This is a very professional area, and it would be an inviting place, and people would feel like, yes, this is where we can do business. All right, the process. Now, the book had a more detailed process, but it was hard to read, so I found something much simpler. This is the service blueprint for a fast food outlet. It's very simple. You greet the customer, you take the order, you cook the burger, bun, or whatever. Not at Wendy's, they ran out of meat this week. Of course, you got to keep up with inventory, the stuff you have. Then once you cook that burger and put it on the bun, you assemble it, and then you click the order together and give it to the customer and take the payment. That's very simple. Now, if you're doing other things like freelance photography, you know, you have to figure out how you're going to deliver your service. The process that you're going to get used to get people to buy your services as a photographer. If you're working for a media outlet, you're doing the news, you're shooting video and editing the news. There's a process. You know, it's part of the marketing scheme to have a product for people to watch and inform them. It's all part of it. Okay, it's important to remember that in Chapter 1, we're covering concepts that you'll be seeing throughout the book. Each of these concepts shown here will be explained in more detail as I lecture and as you read the book. Now, here's what I want you to do. After you finish this, go back to the blackboard and read the quiz review PowerPoints. Okay? It's a PowerPoint slide with all the questions that are on the quiz. And then you'll go to the book site and take the quiz. Now let me pull that up and show you. Where is my book site? There it is. Let me bring it over here. Okay, so Chapter 1. You take the quiz right here, and I'm going to make that quiz available right now to you. Oh, you just saw some answers. I forget the due date. It's in Blackboard. So when you finish this, I want you to hit submit on Blackboard. Do it on the Edify page here, but in Blackboard, hit submit so that I know you did it. Okay? So after you take the test, go down here and click on the this test thing and just answer that question, and that'll give me a place to put the grade. All right, then after that, you should have already done the first discussion. There's a second discussion I want you to do. Go to the class discussion board, open that up, and discussion section 3. It's actually the second discussion, but it's about Annie Ann's cookies. And let me show you that in the book. That is right here in section 3. The product is Annie Ann's. Actually, they're not cookies, they're pretzels. And all kinds of different kinds of pretzels. All kinds of different kinds. That's redundant. They even do frozen pretzels and nuggets. So read all of this. Okay? And you're saying to yourself, what's that got to do with me and what we're doing? All of these things, whatever you're delivering, whether it's a pretzel or a newscast, you got to consider these things, every single one of them, so that you can get your product, your message out. That's why you learn these skills, to communicate with people. I don't think I like sour cream and onion. I'm not a big fan of that. That would be good. Anyway, so do that. Go into that thing. Now what you have to do is, which of these elements do you think differentiates Annie Ann's? And well, I think the answer is in the presentation, in the book, and talk about it. All right? You got to post your answer and then respond to at least one other. You can't respond to somebody or see any of the others until you make your post. If there are no posts yet, go ahead and make your post and come back and look at it later. The due date's on there. All right. Now, at the end of Chapter 5, there will be a major test, an exam of chapters 1 through 5, roughly 50 questions. And what I'm doing on the next slides, that I'm not going to read to you, I'm providing you the questions now that will be on the test. It's a couple weeks away. The quiz is today for Chapter 1. It's like 10 questions. It's very simple. But the major exam is later. And so remember that, because each one of these slides has a question that will more than likely be on the test. Okay, so that's chapter 1, and we'll continue with this in the next chapter. Everything that's open you can go ahead and do. Make sure you did all the stuff you're supposed to do on day 1, including the attendance verification. And don't put anything off. You can work ahead as things become open, but don't get behind. As you see, this is not laid out in a very difficult way. The content's good and full. You're going to learn a lot, but it's done in a very engaging, easy to read way. So don't think you can put it off and do it all at one time, because something else could happen and you won't be able to get around to it. Because a lot of folks that didn't do well last semester, the reason they didn't do well wasn't because of the pandemic. It was because they goofed off the first part of the semester, and there was really no way to fix it, because they couldn't get back to fix it. And I didn't give them, many of them, any mercy, because I told them before they left, many times, do your work now. You can't expect to do stuff due in February and April. So same goes for this semester. If you put it off and it gets to be mid-July, and you want me to say, hey, it's okay, I probably won't say that unless you have a real reason. Okay. So take care, and I'll see you next time.